There are some important new cruise rule changes that you need to know about. Welcome back to Cruise for You, your ultimate destination for cruise news, tips, and everything in between. Today, I'm diving into something huge: the 10 biggest cruise rule changes you need to know in 2025. Trust me, whether you're a seasoned cruiser or planning your first voyage, these changes will impact your trip. Stick around because the biggest shockers are saved for last and you don't want to miss them. Rule number 1. No more cases of water bottles. Let's start with a rule that's caught a lot of cruisers off guard. Cruise lines have officially banned bringing full cases of water bottles on board. Why, you ask? Well, for one, it's an environmental concern. Single-use plastics are a massive issue, and cruise lines are taking steps to reduce their environmental impact. By encouraging guests to use refillable water bottles, they're cutting down on waste. The second reason? Smuggling. Believe it or not, some passengers were using water bottles to sneak alcohol onto the ship. And while that might sound clever, it's led to stricter rules for everyone. But don't worry, you're not stuck without hydration. Cruise lines provide safe, drinkable water on board, and many even allow you to bring non-alcoholic canned drinks. So pack your reusable bottles and enjoy fresh, cold water while keeping the planet in mind. Rule number 2. Smoking ban on balconies. If you're a smoker, this next rule might frustrate you. Smoking on private balconies is officially banned across most cruise lines. This policy has been around for a while, but it's worth revisiting because it stems from a serious safety concern. Back in 2006, a fire broke out on the Star Princess cruise ship, reportedly caused by a lit cigarette. The damage was extensive, and safety protocols have changed dramatically since then. Cruise lines now prohibit smoking on balconies to prevent similar accidents. To accommodate smokers, most ships have designated smoking areas, usually outdoors and away from heavy foot traffic. This way, everyone stays safe while still having options. And let's be honest, non-smokers appreciate the cleaner air on their balconies too. Rule number 3. New prohibited items. Cruise lines have updated their banned items list, and some of these might surprise you. Bluetooth speakers are no longer allowed because, let's face it, not everyone wants to listen to your playlist by the pool. Another surprising addition to the banned list is personal routers. These devices can interfere with the ship's communication systems, which are crucial for navigation and safety. If you're someone who needs a strong internet connection, don't worry. Most cruise lines now offer reliable Wi-Fi packages, and many ships are rolling out Starlink internet. And here's one that might frustrate tech lovers. All power strips are banned. Even non-surge protected ones, which were previously allowed, are now prohibited. Instead, cruise lines suggest bringing USB-only adapters to charge your devices. These changes might feel restrictive, but they're all about maintaining safety and comfort for everyone on board. Rule number 4. Sniffer Dogs at embarkation security is stepping up in a big way. Some cruise lines, like Carnival, are now using Sniffer Dogs at embarkation points. These dogs are trained to detect prohibited substances, and you might spot them checking bags as you board. Why the change? Times have evolved, and certain substances are now legal in many places. However, cruise lines operate under federal law, and many ports of call have their own strict rules. By using Sniffer Dogs, cruise lines ensure that nothing illegal makes it on board, keeping the environment safe and family-friendly. While this might feel invasive, remember it's all about protecting passengers and crew. Security measures like this help create a safe cruising experience for everyone. Rule number 5. Homemade food is a no-go. This next rule might disappoint those who love to bake. Homemade food is no longer allowed on board, and this applies to gifts for crew members too. Why the restriction? It's a combination of health and safety concerns. In the past, there have been incidents where crew members became ill after consuming homemade goods. Cruise lines now ask guests to stick to pre-packaged snacks if they want to bring treats for the crew. As for passengers, you're still allowed to bring packaged snacks like chips or candy, but anything perishable or homemade is off the table. While it's a bummer for those who love to share baked goods, it's a rule that protects everyone's health. Rule number 6. Transparent pricing. Finally, a rule we can celebrate. Cruise lines are now required to display full pricing up front. This means no more hidden fees when you reach the checkout page. The change comes in response to California's honest pricing law, which requires businesses to show mandatory charges like port fees and taxes in their advertised prices. While this law applies to California residents, cruise lines have extended the policy across the U.S. to simplify pricing for everyone. This transparency means you can better budget for your cruise without unexpected surprises. Of course, optional extras like drink packages or excursions still come at an additional cost, but at least the base price is clear. Rule number 7. Scooter size restrictions. For cruisers who use mobility scooters, there's a new rule to be aware of. Your scooter must fit entirely inside your cabin, and that includes the doorway. Standard cabin doors are typically around 22 inches wide, so if your scooter is larger, you'll need to book an accessible cabin with a wider entrance. If that's not an option, many cruise lines partner with companies like Scootaround to provide rental scooters that meet onboard size requirements. This policy helps keep hallways clear and safe for all passengers while ensuring accessibility for those who need it. Rule number 8. Chair Hog Crackdown. If you've ever struggled to find a poolside chair, you'll appreciate this next change. Cruise lines are cracking down on chair hogs, those passengers who reserve loungers for hours without using them. On Royal Caribbean ships, you'll see notes placed on unattended chairs marking the time they were left empty. After 30 minutes, the items are removed and held at the towel station. Carnival uses a similar system with a 40-minute limit. While enforcement varies, the goal is clear: to give everyone a fair shot at enjoying the poolside areas. Rule number 9. No drinks in the pool. Here's a rule that's been around but is now being strictly enforced. No beverages in the pool or hot tub. Even if your drink is in a plastic cup, it's not allowed. This policy is about more than just preventing spills. Pools and hot tubs are shared spaces, and keeping them clean and safe is a top priority. Plus, let's be honest, no one wants to share a pool with someone who's been drinking for hours. Rule number 10. Food limits in the dining room. And finally, the rule that's stirring up the most controversy: limits on how much food you can order in the dining room. Carnival, for example, now charges $5 if you want more than 2 entrees. Other lines have similar policies, and some have even done away with free lobster nights. While this might feel like cost-cutting, cruise lines argue it helps reduce food waste. After all, we've all seen tables piled high with uneaten dishes. And there you have it, the 10 biggest cruise rule changes for 2025. Which one surprised you the most? Which do you think makes sense, and which feel unfair? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to Cruise for You for all the latest cruise tips, tricks, and updates. I think you will be interested in the 5 secrets not to keep from your cruise line. Please click here to watch it. Until next time, happy cruising!